Hello, test. That looks good. Windows go on. Oh, there we go. Hello, Tominator97. Hello, Wicked Shot. Hello, Speezy61. Hello, Tamara. Well, I can't read it very well on there. Let's read it on the thing I can actually read it on. Tamara, Pat. I can't pronounce your last name, but hello, Tamara. Wicked Shot. Speezy. Oh, I'm reading it backwards on there. Devon Martin and OK Gaming. Hello. Hello. Oh, no, that one updates slower. The Restream.io chat thing updates. My overlay is faster than Restream.io's own chat thing. Maybe I'm polling too quickly. Let's close you and you and you. I'll get back to that email. Hello, Lexon2535, and hello, Ken Riley Elias. Let's move this over here. That's the thing I was doing. Close this and this. I can put the mute. Wait, let's get my streaming playlist on the go as well. That's always good. I have a playlist on Google Play that I made for one of the first, like the third Ludendari I did or whatever, just so I had a playlist of music. And I called it Ludendari 32, and there it is, and I've just never renamed it, I just keep using the same one. Basically every time I stream. Let's I'll turn it up there, turn it down on my speaker. Check it on OBS. It's being quite loud. Let's turn that down a little bit, maybe. Bing, 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 bing. See, looking at the levels, it looks okay, but you can never really judge audio from looking at that stuff. Apparently, I have a new NVIDIA driver available that I've not looked at. Bom, 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 bom. Let's get that chat window back over there. Cool. Where's that emote? I can't even see it on that window. God of War Kratos. Fair enough. Okay. So what I'm doing at the moment, which I'm sure I'll have to repeat a whole bunch of times, is I'm kind of trying to plan out a world, if you will, for PokeyPoke. I've got kind of estimated values for what like one tile is worth, because 360 doesn't actually divide by 32 all that well, even though it's a good height resolution wise for other reasons. So that's kind of an estimate. I'm kind of losing like a quarter of a tile on each one. There's actually slightly more tiles, but that's fine. We can just add the one tile when we need to, and it shouldn't, I hope, make too much difference to things in the long run. Because we're only planning it rough in here. We're roughing it out. I kind of wanted to have this area where you fall down at the start, but the problem with doing that is maybe that if you fall down to a place and you get the spear, say in like this area down here, is what happens if then you just decide to come back up here. Do I not let you back up here? I mean, it's like the whole thing of the game is climbing stuff, right? So I kind of wanted to put like in a little thing that sort of hints that you can go back down that way that you came. Well, maybe that should be the whole point, actually. Maybe you only fall down here in order to get the spear, and then you climb your way back up. In which case, that sort of, like, lure doesn't really work as well. Like Steve from Stranger Things. I'm not sure if that's a compliment or not, depending on who you are, I guess. But I suppose you never really know, like, most things are a compliment or not when someone says you look like some other person. I got a haircut, so I have less hair now. Yeah, this is less hair. I'm also pretty happy that my skin is starting to kind of recover. The white balance on the video doesn't help, I still look really red, but it's definitely gotten a lot better from the last few times I streamed. So, what do I want to do with this whole... Maybe I want you to come further down, and then that's the whole thing, is like make the player climb back up. Oh, that would be a good idea. I could put something like in here. There's like a little room. And so you'll see that like on the way down. And then there'll be like a way back up to it this way that's like maybe a little bit secret-y, like something like that. And we can have that maybe like reveal, kind of like, maybe do it sort of like how Celeste does it, where it's like covered up but then you go into it and it's just like, whoa, you found like a little secret path. Isn't that exciting? Yeah, that might work. The music that's playing at the moment is a soundtrack from, I think, Hate Plus, which is the sequel to Analog: A Hate Story. And it's really good. I still don't know what I'm going to do with the character in this game, or where I'm going to keep them the same or what. It's not really collision tough, hat, geo. I'm just sort of planning. I'm just sort of white box. Well, not really white boxing because this doesn't work in the game or anything like that. I'm just sketching essentially. I've just kind of put together a thing that I'm just going to sort of sketch in some little design for. Just it's not because when you actually put it in, it's then like harder to go in and dig it out. At least if I'm building it in the room editor, which for now I'm going to. I don't want this to be that big. I want it to be sort of a bit more subtle. But I want it kind of center screen-ish so that you notice it. Make it just like a little bit awkward to reach that. This will be too high up to jump, I would hope. I think that's like 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles up. Maybe let's like do, yeah, something like that. And do that as well, so it's definitely... That's going to be interesting to see how that feels with the camera system I'm going, which you guys obviously haven't seen yet. I'm just making some maps, folks. I'm doing some like layout test stuff. The idea is you're going to fall down here and then you find the spear somewhere like down here maybe, and then we like work our way back up to it. See, this is the nice thing about doing it outside the room editor as well, is that I can shift things around easier. I should put the black though. I should just get rid of that and put the black on a background, not on a tile, no, a background layer. Pixel is just kind of handy for it because of the way it operates with tiles, and allows you to like, I can just like click a tile and just like move that tile. Well, bad example, but I can do stuff like that and just shift things around really easily, which I thought might make this a good tool for that. This isn't actually going to be used by the game, this is literally just for me, planning wise. Oh yeah, so if I do this like this is like a collapse really early in the tile the grid block that we come from. So that's worth thinking about. I might want to shift this over a bit. Do something like that. If I erase, I should be able to erase on this layer, right? Yeah, because that's white. Oh, I've clearly got something selected. There we go. Just be careful. Let's change that color so I don't accidentally draw a bunch of black in. No, Ace of 702, it's literally just for me. I know a lot of people do that kind of thing. I can't, I couldn't do that if I wanted to here because the tiles don't exactly line up. Because I've got them, this is like 11 high by 20. 20 is right, that's the 640 divided by 32. But 360 doesn't divide perfectly into 32, so there's always a kind of a quarter. It's always going to be off by about a quarter, so I can't really use it in that way. As easily anyway, not like a pixel grid, pixel per tile kind of thing. I'm interested to know, I'm gonna have to play around with this when we actually put it in. This is the vague idea, so that's good enough. I don't need it to be exact. I'm not gonna be like, I need it to be exactly how it is. Let's make sure, yeah, just don't want to get any black in here as well. But what I want to make sure is it's at least vaguely right. So this is where I'm going to have you land, right? So I guess that's going to want to be some sort of like platform almost. I could just have that be the top. We could have you come across a bridge that collapses or something like that. I don't want to feel too contrived and forced. Yeah, like something. Yeah, I suppose that could confuse you. Well, it's kind of going to be the whole. I'm going to have the whole world just in one room, honestly. So, and obviously, I've just made it big for now. I'm kind of only just looking to create kind of like a vertical slice of what the game is anyway. It'd probably end up basically going to remake it about 6 times before it ends up being the final thing. But the key thing I want to do is create like a route to getting you the spear and to getting you to a particular place that will be kind of a hub world, and then kind of like a handful of paths that kind of go from there that are largely non-linear and kind of lead to linear paths in a way that, like, I'm sure there's better technical terms to describe these things, but that basically imitate somewhat how like VVVV's design works, but just better than how I did it in the jam. There's sort of a flow that gets you into the game, and then just the game itself. And it's not going to be like a huge thing. It's not going to be super complex and detailed. It's in terms of it's not going to be super like epic in scope. You know what I mean? It's going to be a fairly low scope, short thing. And the most linear part of it will be this beginning thing. much thought into how this whole collapse thing is going to work, though. But one way or another, we're going to want this to sort of fall through, and you're going to want to not fall through on the bit that can like land here, so it's going to have to be somewhat in these two tiles. Gosh, there's a lot to think about with this stuff. Would I ever consider making a live channel where I upload my streams to? It'd been cool if it... I still have that, Lawrence, Francois Laurent. It's just, it's broken up into different chunks. So I kind of wanted to like actually stitch it all together, but I've just not found time to actually do that. So like, because I didn't want to release like 6, like, here are all the bits of me streaming for Ludum Dare, because I think that would mess up my uploads area a bit, but it might be fine to do it that way. I just like I didn't like how that worked with like Mundev before, where it's just like, here's a tutorial, here's 7 live stream videos and kind of thing, and it becomes like harder for people who are mostly just watching those tutorials. So I kind of want to keep them condensed into one thing where I can. Kind of Scott Schultz, in a less epic kind of way. I'm basically like not really gonna have much in terms of art and stuff for this for a very long time either. It's gonna be largely white boxed out. In fact, I might change the artwork from like the sky and stuff we've got to something that's more like white boxy, while we get an idea for the general architecture rather than the thingy of it. Kind of, yeah, Narc. I mean, for this kind of game, I probably wouldn't really have them anyway, but... But I'm trying to not split it across into multiple rooms, yes. If you have a good game design, just make it yourself. I have my own ideas, it's fine. I'm sure yours are great, but the last thing you want to do with them is just email them to everyone. Adult guy. Probably slower than you. Glad to hear it, Simbus H plays game. Sorry I missed your comment. I'm reading from the wrong window here. I need to read the combined one. Just want to check. Have I missed it? I haven't missed anything on Twitch, have I? Oh, I think I'll come back to GM. I already have GMS 1.x. Do you think it's necessary to get 2.0? No. I don't know if you're still here, Icolstone. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong chat window. I have a combined one, but I was just looking at the YouTube one. It's easy mistake to make because I've got like a billion different tabs open that all have different chats and things in them. It's not, if you have 1. I would get two, you know, like I would highly recommend it, so you have to get it. I just did get a haircut. Don't tell me to get a haircut. This is what I got at cut 2. Can you imagine what it was before? So the idea is you'll get the spear and then you'll be able to use that to get back where you came from, right? That's how we're gonna teach you how to use that. And do like a pickup, and that can be like that. It's gonna be in between, but yeah. Thanks, Narc. Also recently washed, so it is a bit mental as well. I don't think it took well to being cut, and it's like, you know, lost control. It's angry. The hair is angry with me. What's wrong with long hair, man? What people have got against... People have got so much against long hairs. I am streaming on Twitch, Splendid Tank. Chat's just not as active over there. Just how it is. Also, it didn't help that I was accidentally ignoring it for a while. Detailed graphic setting in GM2. I'm not sure what that is, Speezy, I'm afraid. I look tired. Damn. Never tell someone they look tired, man. You just tell them they look ugly. I mean, I do look tired, because I am tired, like 24/7. But still, it's mean. There you go, there's a Twitch chatter. What I could then do is have like a door or something here that you open by hitting a button up here with the throw. We don't teach you how... Might disable even doing the throw to force you to learn left click coming up here. And then when you get back to here with the spear, we'll have some sort of trigger go off that makes you focus in on this thing, and I might just have to tell you, like, right mouse button, or just like have like a little pop-up of just like right mouse button kind of thing, rather than be so direct, be like press the right click button to hold down the thing and throw it. We can just tell people like hold the right button. We can just show the button that we want them to hold, highlight the thing, and then let them work it out. Which I think will work. Oh, I don't want to draw in black, do I? Always forget that. I've done it in kind of a strange way as well. I can always turn that off. Can I can't change the background thing in this, can I? Which is unfortunate. Like, I can't just change the background color. Maybe I should have done this in Photoshop. You can still use the grid. It's just you can't select grid, and I like the idea of being able to do that. Maybe if man's ever updated pixel edit. God damn. It's such a good program. I'm sad he didn't have the, or he's not. I say he, I have no idea whoever the person is responsible for pixel edit. I'm sad that they didn't keep kind of going with it. What might be cool is to just hide something as well, just back here. That you couldn't get to on the way down. You might collapse in the wall or something behind you here. I think we can get started maybe putting some of this together, because I want to see how it flows. But this is useful as well, just being able to... Because I always want there to be a buffer of at least one thing in each direction, to help with screen shake and stuff. It's not no Rain Drinker. I know it looks like that because I know people do that kind of thing now and again, but again, first of all, I'm not going to spend ages setting that up, and second of all, it wouldn't really work even if I wanted it to because of the size. The size of the pixels it's only kind of an estimate to how big a tile actually is in the game world. Well, I mean, it's not in theory, like, but the grid size is. I feel like I should just do this in Photoshop, actually. I might just, because I can change the background layer better there. I think. Can I think you can change what the background looks like in Photoshop. Or can you? You can in GMS too, madly enough. Maybe that's got a feature that no one else has. Maybe I should just be editing this in GameMaker. Kinda, yeah, Rain Drinker, but like the thing is, when you do it in GameMaker, in the room editor, like if I wanted to do what I just did then and just grab everything and move it along, I can't really do that very easily in the tile editor or anything like that. Not that I'm aware of, anyway. You used to, like, there was a lot of like shift options and stuff in the old 1.x's room editor that don't seem to be present in GMS2. So I kind of just want to make sure I have at least a rough idea of what it actually is going to look like. Like it's not finely detailed or anything either. It's more detailed than it needs to be. I cannot speak Indo, unfortunately. What I'm not necessarily even sure what you mean by Indo. Oh, if you're part of my D&D campaign, spoilers, don't look at any of these maps. Just in case any of those 5-6 dudes are watching. I could probably no, that's how big is this? Then again, no, I'm just gonna keep it in pixel edit because if I just, it's gonna take me forever if I keep moving it around. I just kind of like the idea of being able to see the background color better than just having this layer like that. I could reduce its opacity by a bunch. Oh, that's better actually, and then I can tell if I'm drawing on it or not. See, I already got a few on here, look. Select, there we go. That's better. Play a lot of D&D, man. I'm a fan of the old role-playing games. I don't think that'll make too much sense, actually, unfortunately. We gotta have something that kind of comes down. Oh, that's weird. Oh, it's weird with transparency, this, isn't it? I forget that it can be odd. No, it just has to look right anyway. My sister's I mean, I don't live with my sister, but also I don't. Very presumptuous to think that it must be a woman's room because of the colour. I like the pink. If it were up to me though, it would be bright green so that I could like use it to green screen. Can't really use pink to green screen because otherwise it just gets rid of your skin. But it's not up to me because I'm only renting, and renting sucks. I mean, I could probably ask to do, but I can't be asked to paint the place green if I'm only renting it here. Yes, splendid tank, just make a smaller line. I'm very tempted to go ahead and just start building some of this, but I guess this is, and then theoretically we're gonna go from here onwards and just build out. So then we can plan all that later, but I don't think this should impact that too much. But in case it does, I think I'm gonna leave myself the room to be able to like, let's do like that. To leave myself the room to, if I want to, like build rooms that go underneath here and maybe like do something with this area at the back and stuff. Because if you think about it, in the room editor, if I make it bigger, it's going to stretch out this way and this way. So I kind of need to give myself a bit of a nice buffer to the left and to the bottom. The other ways don't matter because I can always just extend the room. Oh no, it's not. It's going to extend right and down even, isn't it? That's interesting. That means I need to give myself like a huge buffer for upwards. In theory, the room size in itself though doesn't matter, it's just how much of it gets used. Although the tile... No, the tiles won't draw if they're outside the window, I don't think. I'm not sure, yeah, I don't think having a really huge tile map is going to matter. But we'll find out! I guess we'll find out. Let's come into here. So this is like... Yeah, this is the room I'm going to use, I think, because the other ones will be testing things anyway. So let's go into... Let's just resize this room. Let's change the grid to just be like... Oh, that's... I just want a grid that I can see that's like... visible? No, but it doesn't, you can't get it to show the grid on a non-grid? That's lame. So I can't like, you can only edit the size on it. Yeah, oh, okay. I was going to use that to sort of help me lay it out, but never mind. Guess I can't do that. How many tiles wide? The width is the one that matters the least, I guess. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So like, and then we can extend it right as far as we want. So let's go with 10 times 6 boys, so 6,400. Okay, and then height. Thanks 8-Bit King. Would I do Unity tutorial if I knew how to use Unity? Is this deleted? Is that something... Or are you literally just typing that? I don't even know. Okay, so it is showing on this layer, or just being stupid, okay. 40. There we go. Because you see, like, I can't now just, like, shift a whole layer in a direction. There's no function for that. As far as I'm aware. Like in the dirt tiles, there's no way for me to just like drag that whole thing anywhere. So I've just got to kind of kill it all. Oh. I also have way too many layers. I'm kind of build it around, okay, everything, because I just needed to order things. I'm just like, thinking things. I need to find a way to consolidate these layers and still have things work right, because it's just, it's too much. It's too much. Like, I have a whole layer just for the effect that comes behind the lance, and that seems unnecessary. I could just include it in the lance's drawer event, actually. Create it on the same layer as the lance. That's an idea, but we'll leave that till later. We'll make a note. Consolidate layers. In fact, I'll actually make a note. Hey, Ed Sayers. A few extra things, Narc, but no, nothing really worth shouting too much about. Yeah, I'm gonna change this back to being like... Oh, yeah, I was gonna do that. Oops. Don't horizontal tile. Don't vertical tile. But stretch. Right, okay, cool. That's fine. And then I think does the room creation code here have... Yes, so I can do like this. So basically I want to get this ready for the NGF as the thing, and so I want to create, at the moment it had that kind of sandbox from before, right, which was this. But it's not exactly great level design. It was rushed together in like the last 30 minutes for a game jam, so I want to make something with a bit more flow and a bit more feel and a bit more everything, really. As sort of a stepping stone towards thinking what the game will finally be. I don't think I actually really want to commit to making this a super long-term, well, commit is the wrong word. I don't think I want to make this a really long-term, like, 3-year project kind of thing. I actually think I want to kind of make it and be done with it within, like a year at most. I just have too many other things I really want to work on, and like this is a really cool, fun game, but I can feel like in terms of a super long-term thing, I'm not sure my heart is really in it, and like I don't, it's not interesting enough to me to really merit being like a proper huge game. But I want to ship more things, so I want to take an idea that I think has some merit and just go with it and get it finished. Prove to myself that I can in that regard, you know. But I never want to make. I don't want to make it some sort of like really huge, long scope thing. I just want to make it a thing that I can release and be proud of, and you know, charge a few dollars for, you know. Which this is definitely not a thing. I'm cool, I guess. Thanks, Ben N, I guess. Suppose how else do I respond to that other than thanks, I guess? So, what do I need in this game? Can we get all the controllers and stuff in one place? That had a cursor object. I'm like, do I need that? Camera, this is the wrong room again. I think we have all the things here. So let's put like some dirt down just to make sure. I just want to make sure this room is like ready, and we just want to clean it up before I go ham, like putting level design into it. Okay, so that's interesting. So we'll sort that background thing out. Oh yeah, there's a marshmallow. I guess there's an interesting. Does that ever come back? Yeah, you throw it off the edge of the screen. You're just done, I think, aren't you? Looks quite cool against a black background. So that's because with the outline gone, or whatever, right? Kind of makes the outline fade in, right? So it looks nice against like a dark background. Like it's still there because it's not true black. Should be able to stand on this as well, yeah. I need to make, well, do I? I don't know. I need to make the lamps interact with the outer edge tile. Is that a... Those shouldn't ever matter actually the way I'm going to do the map, so should be fine. So I'm gonna leave a buffer. Hi Adobe Creative Cloud. What? How am I not already signed in? I've got Photoshop open, or do you not need? I don't know. How do I close? Ah, what is? Go away. What is? What? Everything just wants to show every window other than the one I actually wanted to work with. What the? Oh, this game maker crashed or something. That's why, right? Yay. Yeah, it's doing that thing where I can literally click through it. Like I can literally like click, like I'm clicking on my desktop. Like I'm right clicking and just like, I don't know what that's about lately. It's always like post running a thing. Luckily it never loses anything because Game Maker, you breathe on it and it saves. So yeah, that was what I was planning to do, Narc, but like I was screwing around with mechanics that weren't really going anywhere. So like I don't, until I really know what on earth that's about, I'm not really gonna put any more into it. Like I put on a boat and I'm just like, what do I even want this for? It's just like, oh, it'd be cool if you could like sail a boat. But I was just like, why? What do I do with that in the level design? I've got some ideas for that, but I've got even less ideas for the marshmallow. Let's close some of these things. Can I just go to, oh no, it's close all but this. Zoom out. So why isn't this working as well? Oh right, so it needs to like actually tile, right? Oh, that's fine. I can set it to tile now that it's stretched, right? Yeah, then that'll work. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Josh Lug, and the $2 Australian. I think that's what that says anyway. Thanks for re-inspiring me to make games. Glad of it. Glad I could help. Thank you very much for the support. It's very much appreciated. So yeah, I've got kind of like a Mega Man-y, Celeste-y, camera transition thing going. But it's not like actually moving you into different rooms kind of thing. It's not like actually loading or doing anything. The whole map is basically loaded right now. That's how it is. It does look and feel good, but like there's just so much of it still needs work as well. Like I don't like how it's just this one-handed thing for everything, and like her other hand at her side just makes everything look a bit weak. Like it's just, I mean, it's very like PokeyPoke, but like the other hand needs to do stuff. It's alright when like you're just moving around or whatever, and then it, like the way it moves with moving around is good. It's just when you do something like that, the other hand needs to like fly out backwards or something, and when you hold that back like that to throw it, I think the other hand needs to like being used to like aim kind of thing. Boing. Oh, that's gonna be weird actually. Yeah, if you like you fly off the top and it's like camera goes up there and you come straight back, it's kind of jarring. But though that's a level design thing, we'll see how that goes. And maybe we change how the jump behaves. I don't know. Boing. You can put like little one-way platforms and stuff that you can land on. There's a few ways around that stuff. Marshmallow a platform in and of itself. Yeah, I don't really know what I'm gonna do with the marshmallow, honestly, other than like making it feel a bit gross because you're stuck in dirt and shit when you like. So say you can use it to stick to things, but like, well, you can stick to things anyway. Or stick to surfaces you couldn't usually stick to, or something like that might be interesting. I don't know. I mostly just put in a marshmallow. I wanted to test. It's important because I wanted the ability to be able to grab stuff on the thing and carry it around like that. So I wanted to put in a system that would handle that, which I've got. And a marshmallow just seemed a fun way to do that because I'd also put in a fire thing that I wanted to be able to like light torches and like shoot the thing through it and light other torches and so on. Thanks, MRH Miner. Yeah, I mean, this game didn't get through to Stugan. I don't know how many of you even know I applied for Stugan thing. It's like a Swedish game development accelerator thing where they take a bunch of people who are making games, they put them in a cabin in the woods in Sweden for like 2 months and they work on their thing. Which I applied to be in with PokeyPoke, but I did not get through. But a part of me, honestly, like, I'm not too sad about it. In a way, and like I think a little part of me almost hoped I didn't get it. I don't know what it was, but like I think I was stressing about like not really having a huge long-term plan for this. Although I feel better about this game now. I feel like I kind of have a better idea of the scope of what I finally want it to be. But I didn't have that when I applied, so that I don't know if that maybe came across in my application, or also part of me maybe thinks that maybe they could have looked at it interesting. Like, he could just make this game anyway, kind of thing, and maybe they wanted to give it that sort of thing more to people who, like, don't otherwise have the opportunity to work on stuff, you know? Whereas when I look at my situation, like, I can just sit and work on this. It's, like, part of my job, and it's, like, it's, you know... Well, I mean, you know, that's game development, innit? But like, the point is, I think the program is very cool, and I would have loved to have been part of it. But I can think of a million reasons why they wouldn't have wanted something like what I was doing. So I'm pretty okay with it. Go look it up, MRH Miner. Stugan, S-T-U-G-A-N. Stugan, or something. I don't know how you actually meant to pronounce it. Josh Lug, what do you mean by completely? I don't think there is such a thing. Like, there's a Discord of all of us, You know, the Game Maker Discord is full of loads of awesome people who know loads about Game Maker, but I wouldn't say any of us would ever claim we know Game Maker completely. Probably the closest person to knowing Game Maker completely is like Yellow Afterlife, and even he learns new things about how Game Maker works all the time. But like, so that's and it's worth pointing that out. I know it seems like I'm just like copping out of answering your question, but like it's worth pointing out that you can't master these kind of things in a like. Okay, I know Game Maker now, kind of thing, you know? So you just take a tool and you work with it and you get better at it. And there's no point... What you shouldn't do is try and set a thing, right, okay, I need to learn it to X measurable, quantifiable point before like I make a game or I make a thing in it. You just get started. Get started right away. Anyway, I'm talking a lot and not really doing a lot of work, as tends to be the case with a lot of streams. So I want to make sure. Right, let's get rid of these coins. Coins don't need their own layer either, really. Can I delete the coin layer? I'm going to delete as many layers as I can. Case sensitive. Find all. Search complete 0, so no references to that in my code. So let's delete that layer entirely. Wish will probably have. I want to make it. I'm just making things easier for me to actually work on this stuff. No phrase any correctly could respond. Well, I'm glad it helped. Yeah, but what it seemed to be that you were getting at was like, how much do I need to do before I get started? And the answer is like, just get started. I don't want to see an enemy attacked by doing backflips that avoids attacks and send you to oblivion with their feet due to knockback. Maybe you should make that enemy. Grass pollen seed. Oh, good. I would hate to have hay fever or that kind of thing, man. That sounds awful. I'm gonna bring that up twice. Let's make it on the same layer for now, and we'll fix issues with that later, because I have an idea on how that should work. No, that's fine, that's fine. With a whoosh whoosh. Okay, that's actually the only place. Cool. With do I put this in a variable? No, I just create it, don't I? So with a whoosh, which we know will exist because the lamps exist. With a whoosh, event perform EV draw 0, I think is what we put in there to have it perform its draw event. And then when we go to whoosh, oh, it doesn't actually have its own draw event. That's fine, but we need to give it one because self and then mark it as not visible, so it doesn't actually, it skips its own draw event, but we'll have it be called in the draw event of the lance after the lance is, well no sorry, before the lance is drawn, so it draws behind it. I don't know what that was, but let's get rid of it. Well, I'm glad you could be here, Rosie, Rosal. It's hard to tell if that's an I or an I or a L. I do not know of any upcoming sales. Well, that didn't quite work as planned. Do I control that by marking it visible? That would be an issue, wouldn't it? So let's take a look in here. Let's not keep using the workspace like a numpty. Let's use this. There we go. I would use GMEdit, but like I just can't seem to get used to the swapping between the IDE and things, and just end up doing stuff in the IDE. I do like the fact that it has better code folding though. Yeah, I do control it with visible. So, well, what we can do then, since we're marking that visible and not visible, think we can do that and just say if but then how am I going to stop it just drawing itself? Visible might not be the term to use here. Might have to make our own boolean. So let's do Visi equal false. Draw, and if Visi draw self, mark visible untrue. Lines in here, we're gonna do this instead. I don't like the fact that we've done this twice, it seems, yeah. Oh. Oh yeah, we used to have that play a sound, didn't we? That's okay, let's just do that. I think that should then how it works. Hello, cat. What are you doing? You're not visible to everyone else, but cat has come to say hello. So we're gonna have cat cam for a little bit. He likes to just chill here while I'm working. Thanks, Rosalina Speedruns, for the £2. I am a big nerd. So this hasn't worked. It's still just drawing no matter what. So let's take a look. Oh, wish if Visi draw of self, visible off. So the draw step here should be generally skipped. Search for wish again. Let's create. So that's where we make it. With wish if it's not Visi equal true. Oh, I think I know where this might be going wrong. In wish itself, right? So that's, yeah. I mean, I asked this question a second ago, Ahmed, but there's no such thing as mastering Game Maker, not really. So like, it's always hard to tell exactly what people mean when they ask stuff like that, but I guess what you're really getting at under that question is like, how long does it take before you can make games comfortably in Game Maker? And just, there's no real answer to that either. The answer is just start making things, you know? Don't worry. Or like, maybe you're asking like, how long did it take before I got to this point? Maybe you want to reach this point of skill, whatever you'd call it. And that's going to completely vary from person to person, strategy to strategy on how you choose to learn, that kind of thing. The point is though that it's not really that relevant. Just don't worry too much about it. Just start making stuff, you know, you'll get better as you get better. Don't worry too much about like it's not going to take you 20 years or whatever to learn how to use a tool to make things, yeah? So the answer is, if you want to do it, start now, you know? That's all I can really say. Obviously we have finite amount of time in our lives to do these kind of things, and we worry like, oh, is it too late for me to start getting into game development, you know, can I start making things? But just do what you want, man. Don't worry so much about it. Some people start super late, some people start super early. Starting super early is obviously good if you can, but it doesn't matter. It's actually possible to just jump higher off the floor, I think, by just stabbing the floor and then jumping. Yeah, because your jump is slightly enhanced from a push jump. So that in itself is just a slightly higher jump. But I'm okay with that. That's a cool bit of knowledge the players can have, and it's not excessive either. It's just a little bit higher. Oh, you tired, cat. You sleepy. There's a big yawn. Big Lulu yawn. I don't know mythology. I don't know. I kept saying, yeah, the character's definitely going to change, but like the more I play with it, the more I just kind of like it. So I don't know. Maybe it'll just stay that way. I mean, I kind of want to change maybe at least like the color of her outfit, because it looks a bit too Celeste at the moment. And you know, I already had this issue with friggin' my first game where everyone's like, the character's just like Tim's and Braid. It's just a Braid clone. I'm a gamer. I am not at all childish. But yeah, I don't know exactly how I'm gonna have the character look. Celeste was a really good game. And it both like delighted and annoyed me. I'm just like, oh damn, that is like the perfect realization of the direction I originally had for this game, which then put me in a spiral of I don't know what I'm gonna do instead, how I'm gonna make this my own thing now, because what I wanted to do has been done so well now, and I'm just like, ah. But that's okay, because this is gonna have some different goals now, and I think I'm starting to get a better idea for what those are. And in a way, those things never matter, but it's really hard to shake that feeling. Anyway, so that works now. So back to my laborious task of trying to consolidate some of these layers. I didn't make most of this, no. Like, I made the sphere, I made the checkered background. Can you imagine how hard that was? I made this torch, and the fire, and the marshmallow. I did not make the character, or any of the animations of the character. I did not make the ground. They were made by Inksplat over Twitter, who's been very patiently waiting for further instruction with this game, and I've just not had any time to like work on it or anything. So it's just like, yeah, just let me know when you need more stuff for the game, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll let you know, and I've just like not been able to work on it. But hopefully he'll have some free time to help me out with this soon, because I'm gonna need some more stuff. But I need to work out what that stuff is first. I need to make a new tile layer for this, though, I think. That's going to be a bit more block out. But for now, we'll use the dirt layer, and we can just swap it with that layer. So I was wondering whether to put all that stuff on the same layer or not, and then just check if the index is over a certain value to whether it's dirt or whether it's rock, and so on. Might be better than going between two layers all the time. But then it makes it harder to do neat little overlaps and stuff, so... Oh, you're digging the sphere mechanic. I kind of see what you're doing. Oh, you off, cat. You off. She's off. It's got cat things to attend to. Turn-based battle system. Good luck. I do not know what that is. Selects on. Lulu has left the seat. She has. Where was it up to? Spikes probably can go on the obstacles layer. Probably. Just I have to be careful of never overlapping things and on the same layer and doing. Ooh, Christ. I mean, I could write like a rendering object that controls all that and make sure everything is drawn in the right order as well. So I guess there's always that option if those situations come up. So I think I'm going to use the obstacles layer for things like spikes. Let's delete you. Whoosh. We can now delete as a layer because we're just using a Lance layer. We've got Lance and Lance B as well, which I will kind of need still. There's still the interesting question of water and water rendering and stuff as well. Maybe One Shot Gamer. I don't know. Tough to really say. I don't want to. It's very chicken and egg trying to work out some of that stuff sometimes. Might just release on itch. Might release on Steam as well, because I mean you can put anything on Steam now, right? So I guess you may as well. But part of me almost doesn't really want to support Steam all that much anymore, and I'd rather just. But I don't know. It's a tough. There's a lot of questions there. I've got a layer just called Assets 1 that I don't think I need for anything. UI. I think that makes sense as a layer. Special. There's that. That's the outer edge, isn't it? What else is in there? Oh, water and stuff, right? I feel like I want to rename that. Special. Okay, let's do this search just to rule out the other one. Find all. Cool. Let's replace it with special tiles, just so that we know it's a tile there. And let's replace all. Yes. Ah, gross. I've spelled it wrong. Copy. Paste. There we go. Replace all. Yes. Cool. And that's the same number. Good. Right, and we don't even want that visible, it's just it was for the way I was doing water earlier, but I think I'm going to rethink that in its entirety. Let's move that down here. I think we can get away with that. Again, all it is there for is for this, so I think that's okay. I'm going to lock that layer for now as well. Just trying to clean up, you know. Checkpoints don't think needs to be its own layer either. Have a lot of layers, and they are useful because it's just a quick way of separating things out, and you do need to properly separate things out, but it just becomes just so unwieldy. Collision needs to be there because of how I actually build in collision, right? Search and replace collision. Find all. Okay, those are all the mentions of that in the camera. Key press F1. Should really be a different. Oh yeah, because I originally built this around slopes, but I'm not actually going to involve them. I kept thinking about how I could get them back in, but although I've got an option ticked on YouTube to try and use low delay on chat stuff. I've also enabled the one that's like finally come out of beta on Twitch or whatever, but never seemed to really work. I'm too good at GMS2. God damn. Let's replace that with collision tiles. Yes. Okay, so now we've just made a few sweeping name changes to things. Let's just make sure it's all okay. And the code will just automatically come in on this. Yeah, it's interesting because we've got all that around the outside there. Can I wipe that? Because those should generate automatically, I believe. I shouldn't have to draw anything on this layer. Well, even if that's not how it works currently, that's how I want it to work. Yeah, I know a few that don't have that yet as well. I don't know, Twitch is fucking random, isn't it? They just hate some people because, I don't know, algorithms. Maybe it decided it liked me. Okay, so that doesn't work there. Special tiles is that we should create a thing. So that's, I have a world object, right, that does this stuff. Two, right? Yeah, just treat it like a rock. I mean... You know what, no, I'm not even going to do that. I don't think I even need this as a thing. Let's get a special, let's just wipe this out. Because I don't think we need it. Unlock that. I don't like the way I've organized the layers dealing with stuff. I think I want to rewrite that. But I want to rewrite tons of stuff, so that's not getting... I could get into a refactor frenzy here where I just go for days. I just want to lower the number of tile layers involved. And then we'll go from there. We'll just actually start building some level design in. Glad I could help, GML Geek. I mean, you can send me games, but I don't people send me games and things all the time. I don't really look at them. It sounds mean. I get a lot of stuff, and I'm a busy man. I keep thinking maybe I should do that as a thing, where like, cause I like doing like with Lud and Dari, like playing people's games on stream and stuff like that. We're your horrible neighbors, in case you forgot. God, I hate my neighbors. So maybe I'll do like a thing in future where I play games from viewers and stuff like that. But I would have to think more about the formatting for that, and it's hard to tell if you're gonna get enough stuff from people. But we'll see how it goes. Never say never, that kind of thing. Yeah, you can do that, Runo, for top-down games. Doesn't really make as much sense for a platformer, but who knows, maybe I'll end up doing a thing like that. I just want there to be less layers for now, though. It's actually very flexible. But it's got its own array of issues. I've just got a layer just called Overplayer. I don't even know what uses it. Does anything use it? Maybe I just had that as a... Oh, the bombs. Oh, I think it used to be called the bombs layer, but then I just called it Overplayer so more things would work. It's more like just like foreground objects, right? We'll keep it as Overplayer for now. It's a bit dumb, but whatever. Effects. I don't like how my naming convention style for this matches my script naming style either. But I'm gonna write into my notepad, like, refactor layer names, refactor tile layer interaction with sphere, because that is all over the place as well, but that's like a good day worth of work, and it's probably not gonna like I need bigger wins than that, because I've only got like 3 weeks to get this into kind of playable-ish shape for NGF. Less, really, because some of the days I'm going to be at Animax and stuff as well. Now I'm just texting, so give me a second. I was working at Ubisoft. It was alright. It was alright. Turned out that I think largely AAA is not for me unless it was on a project I was super passionate about. But I learned a whole lot just from being there. And there are a lot of pretty cool guys. What a cool guy is. It's got its issues, as a lot of all AAA things do, really, but sorry, all large studios have their own issues, and I think that's kind of the whole thing that made me just want to be like, I don't think I glue to that kind of environment really well. But I did like it. I did work at Ubisoft. How did I get a job there? By being in the right place at the right time, man. I can't really give you a solid, like, stratagem for that kind of thing. What I did... Anyway, let's just carry on up through this. The sparkle layer is important, I think. What I did was I made a game for my final year project, which used to be like the super secret hot tip because no one ever did it. Chances are people still don't really do it, but a lot of the game dev courses and things will make you make stuff now. So, but back when I did this, like no one, like everyone was just making game design documents and stuff like that. And no one was actually just making games for their like final year projects and for their university work. I actually built a game because I knew how to use Game Maker 8.1 back at the time, and I built Perspective, not another Perspective, but Perspective, the game I made before that, which was a very simple puzzle platform thing. It's not even very good, but like just the power of it was it showed what I knew about game design way better than I could get across in like a document or in an interview, because I'm not good at that kind of thing really either. And because I had that, there was also a thing. Oh, there's no actual mention of the sparkle layer, but that's not what I use for. Oh, I think maybe I've been using that for 2 stars. Let me just look into the scripts for sparkles. So yeah, along with that, there was a project showcase thing at Teesside University, which is where I went to university, called Expo Tees, because they have to put T's on the end of everything, and I showed off my game at that final year project showcase, and there were some awards sponsored by various companies. One of them was sponsored by Ubisoft, and it was award for the best game design, something, game and or level design, something like that, right? And I won that award, and the prize for that award that came with it was a 6-month internship at Ubisoft as a game designer, which I did, and then I went from that and worked there for like another year and a bit, or whatever. I can't remember how long now, like I think it was like 2 years I worked there. And I decided I don't want to do it anymore, and I left. But it was a lot of fun. It was an amazing opportunity, and then part of that was what made me want to leave, is because like I wasn't enjoying it as much as I thought I should, and it's like someone else would love this position much more than me. So I decided to leave it behind, is the short version of that story. I'm trying to do both, Rico. Yeah, it's kind of both, member. That's a complicated question. My job is mostly the video tutorials and stuff. I'm kind of just starting to blend the two together a bit more, though. What is your favorite indie game? Oh, that's a very big question. Did I make any big AAA games while you were there? The only thing I think I worked on that really got released, or that I did a significant amount of work on, was The Crew. A lot of things I worked on there just never saw the light of day, unfortunately. But that's game design. No, O Particles. Where's O Particles then? Is that on controllers? It is. So does that just make the particles on the controller layer? I'm not sure how I feel about that. But it must do. That's fine for now though, that's okay. But do I don't... Oh, Sparkles was the layer I used to put the things in the ground, right? But I can just use the overplayer layer for that, that's fine. So I'm going to delete that layer entirely, I don't think I need it for anything. Hello Marvin's Yellow Beard? That's the name. So I've been keeping a lot of controller stuff in that corner. Other than camera that actually needs a position. We should make a little icon for camera. Is I the name of any other type of resource? No, I mean, included file, that's not going to be it, right? Let's just make like a little... Just so I can recognize it in the room editor, you know? Rather than it just being a question mark all the time. Question mark's handy for controllers, because it's like, oh, it's a controller object, if that's just all those are. Let's just do like a little... Doesn't even have to be good, just 'cause it's not going to be visible in the game. This really needs organizing as well, so let's make a group for that, just to get started on that. I know I'm getting caught up in a lot of refactory type stuff, but it all does kind of need doing, so the more I can just sort of sweep through it, the better. Take visible. Well, it actually doesn't matter. No, it can be visible so that it does its draw event, right? Let's not play around with those kind of black box things. Keep it visible. The icon's fine because it doesn't have a draw self in it. So it'll just chill down. I can know that that's the camera now, rather than just being a stupid question mark all the time. Just run just to make absolutely sure, not forgetting anything. And yeah, that's okay, that's behaving how I want. Whee! It looks like I'm bouncing, but actually the camera is just moving further and further down. Let's move some of this stuff. Maybe the camera should be on the player layer. Doesn't really matter where it is it? Well, no, if I wanted to draw anything debug-wise, I want it to be above everything, so it's fine. Annoying that I can't move the player and the lance at the same time, but that doesn't even matter either, really. Oh, we were going to destroy the lance. Well, we need to try that, actually. So let's destroy the lance, and we'll test that in a second, because I reckon everything's going to break when I do that. But if I want you to be able to pick up the lance later, I need to make sure it can work without there being a lance. There's things I'll have to do in terms of, like, the missing hand and stuff for that as well. I think most stuff that references the lance does with check rather than, like, anything else. So I think it should mostly be okay, but I reckon there's going to be some issues there. Where is the torch? Oh, it's in the obstacles. Of course it is, right. That makes sense. Where is the... Kebab is a layer. That, I think I use that, don't I, as being like the thing to whatever's above the lance. It feels like a layer I should create dynamically rather than in the room editor. I wonder if that's... I wonder how easily you can do that, because that's got to then resort the depths of everything. I do not, unfortunately, Mango Cream, but welcome to this stream. Oh, I missed something. Something in the chat there. What was that? Oh, I can't scroll up on this one. I've just got to stretch it big. What did I... Oh, people chat too fast, man. What did I not enjoy working in Ubisoft? Did the work feel meaningless, which is usually the case? That's way too blunt of a way of putting it. It's complicated, but... Like, sort of, yes, but that's not really the whole story. It's very complicated. It takes a long time to really answer that. It's not depressing. It's just, it just wasn't the kind of work I ultimately wanted to do. And there was no way to know that until I started doing it. I'm not saying it's like, it's big triple, it's depressing. That's not really the whole story. It's just... It's not really what I loved about making video games, what wasn't really there for me, and it's not necessarily 100% there for me in doing an indie either, because it's not always about the making. It wasn't about the making of games that was necessarily the thing. It's very complex. I could talk about it for ages and not get any work done. So, but it's much more complex and nuanced than just sort of the I didn't want to work for the man type thing, you know. Is it more depressing to make a big AAA game that does not release, or a small indie game that releases but does not sell well? Oh, no matter which, you know, it's always more depressing to work on something that never gets released, in my opinion. But then again, I don't know, I've never really had that experience of working on something for years and years and years, releasing and it just bombing, so that could be awful as well. I don't know, man. It's all relative. Ubisoft uses Game Maker? Not really, but like, you'd be surprised how often these kind of tools get used in AAA game development for prototyping and stuff like that. We'll see. It can actually kind of help if your computer is not that good. I mean, not in terms of working with the engine and stuff, that can then be a huge pain in the ass. But you get the advantage of actually optimizing your game for bad computers early. Because, like, I can target, like, a frame rate on here and be like, okay, it runs at, like, 2000 FPS on my computer, this is cool. And then you put it on an older computer and it just, like, no chance at all kind of thing. So there are pros and cons. Generally, it helps to have a better PC, but, like, you know, there are other things to it. Right, so where is O cursor as well? Alright, I just keep that in the top left as well, do I? What are your UI? Right, that's not really a good icon for the UI, but whatever. In fact, can I just take that off of that? Where is that? OUI. Oh, in GUI. And you're kind of a controller object, really. Yeah, I would look in here for you, I think. Because I just did. Man, they said they've made that easier to distinguish, but right, so that means you're putting it in it. Okay, and the other one means you're putting it in it. Right, I guess that makes sense. Okay. Oh, yeah, make that... Oh, I've just changed coin to have no goddamn sprite, but then, ugh. I know, put you back to being gas coin, and you being nothing. There we go. We're getting there, at least with this now. What? Oh, that's the marshmallow. Where is the marshmallow? That's what I was looking for, and then I started thinking about, like, kebab layer. Actually do not know where this object is. Oh, it's just on controllers, because I was just testing it, right? Okay. Dumb Sean, right? And then the only things that need to be around here are the player and the camera, right? I feel like the camera needs a glow so I can see where it is a bit better. I know I'm getting a bit too mental on this, I think, but... Let's just do color swap. There we go. Okay. It's still hard to move these things around. So, we want, like, if we go, we want to be like 1, 2, 3, 8, 4, 5, 6 from the bottom, or rather 5 from the, well, yeah, 5 from the, no, because it expands downwards, doesn't it? So we need it to be super tall. How tall do we want it to be? 1, 2, 3, 4. We worked out width, because width doesn't matter as much, but if we're going to build up from the bottom left, that makes things harder, because we need to actually know how tall it needs to be. So we need to err on the side of making it way too tall. Let's go like resize, no, size canvas. Okay. What's going on here? How did that work? Ugh, pixel edit, and yeah, I really should have done this in Photoshop or something, because pixel edit is not good for this kind of, for transparency and stuff like that. I think that's reasonable. I don't think I'm gonna, for the scope of my game, if I start to go beyond this, then that just, like, height-wise, then that's telling me I'm over-scoping. So let's go with that. Width will probably grow and be different, but we'll use this as the basis. So that's 20 high. So that's 20 times 360. It's actually less. That's not that bad in height, really, thinking about it. 360 is not that big of a number. 7200. Yeah, I've had bigger maps than that before. I'll be fine. Cool. Now let's go into the dirt layer. Off this stuff. Did another expect to do well? So it did alright, actually, you know. It mostly got a lot of it, the money I made from it mostly came from bundles and stuff at the time, though. I'm not even recommending that as like a strategy or anything like that. Never take anything I say as being some sort of good thingy. You know what I should do? Hey Lulu, I hear you. I need like a masking layer. That's like... Shh, Lulu. Shush as grid mask. This is going to seem dumb, but I think it'll work out how I want. We'll just go with green or something there. And we'll do like... $6, $7.20, yeah. It's really hard to actually position that right. Basically, I'm just going to create like a temporary thing, and we'll delete it when the game runs so that it's never actually drawing it. And we'll put it on its own like thingy as well. So now if I copy that, and flip. Yeah. Some of the tools in the sprite editor are really useful, and like you don't find them in other things, and it's just missing other really basic ones. So that's all I want. I need it to actually be that size, because otherwise I don't think I can just, there's no scale option here or such to set, so I just have to go with it. So grid mask, it's being that, and then just vertical tile, horizontal tile, right. I can even lower the alpha on it if I really wanted to, just that's weird how that is odd. Oh, that's because of, yeah, that makes sense. That's actually kind of handy, the way it splits that across. So what I'll do then is, just to stop this having any dumb impact on the game itself, is I'll put this on a separate texture page, just a unique one by itself, that we just then never use, and we can just sort of flush out of memory. So in initialization, what we can do is just be like, or in a world, and what happens if you do that and it doesn't exist? Hey Lulu, just trying to get me to stroke her with my foot. Attention seeking, just because it's nearly food time. Don't know yet, I guess Lolo, a bit early for that question. No idea, man. It's nowhere near done, so. Let's check this. Yeah, I get it, cat, you're hungry. We'll deal with you eventually. Oh, okay, I can just put it in as a string. Does that just get rid of everything on it as well? What happens if you layer get ID and the layer doesn't exist? You'll get an error and the project will crash. Oh, fair enough. I guess there's no point doing that. Layer, where's layer destroy again? Layer destroy. I'm just looking at the manual on my other screen if you're wondering. So remove it from the current room if the layer is one that has been designed in the room editor. Okay, yeah, so it always has to be done when you actually set up the world. That's fine for now. Any contents are destroyed too, that's fine. No, I kind of want to get rid of the texture page from memory if it is in memory. Draw flush. Oh no, it's a debug thing. I'm sure there's something though. Draw texture flush. With this function, you can remove all textures from video memory and they will be reloaded on first use. This is the only effective way to manage video memory when you have multiple texture pages for a game, and you should flush texture memory between levels on your game and organize the graphics using the texture group feature to ensure the minimum amount of textures are used. Oh, there's a sprite one as well, okay. Sprite flush. You can remove the given texture page for the given sprite from texture memory. Cool. Sprite flush. S grid mask. Because we just won't need it, and it should be on its own texture page, and that should, theory then, mean it's kind of hard to test from here, but I'm just going to hope it just sort of works. I always look tired, I guess. You've said this before, I think. Well, unable to find any. Right, yeah, so I knew taking out the lance wasn't going to be as easy as that. Cutscene global L state equals. Alright, one cutscene. It feels a little hacky, but I should be fine, I think. That's what it will be, and I can always change that later. Yeah. I mean, this is not entirely surprising because bonjour is probably the most commonly known French word in all of French. There's going to be a lot of these, aren't there? I wish it would throw them all at once, but I guess they can't really do that. Lance dot throw and play a move. So we need to check if it exists. It's simple enough. Rather than wrap that into everything, then we can just check that one variable. What line was that on? 46. Oh, allegedly? Oh, right, step right. 77 in the actual script. Alright, here. makes sense. Cool. Seems like we may have it. Left and right mouse not needing to do anything. That's good. I mean, I have another perspective that's been published at ML Geek. In fact, you can see all the sort of jam games I've made as well. My itch page, seanjs.itch.io. I don't even know if that's in my stream description or... Oh no, it won't be on YouTube for sure, but... GMC Jam 8 got announced. Oh, the GMC Jam. I don't think I've ever done that, actually. I should probably do that at some point. But I think I need to do less jams, frankly. Done so many jams and it's starting to have... starting to be a bit diminishing returns to do just jam after jam after jam. And actually having negative qualities where it's like giving me little prototypes that I then want to carry on working with, and I've got like so many projects and you start shipping more things rather than just shipping things over the course of 2 days that are really incomplete. Oh, I need to evolve from there, you know, a bit more. So I think I need to maybe tone down the amount of jams and stuff I do. It did alright on Steam. Oh, that was from ages ago, didn't it? Twitch chat. How do you export My Gaming Studio 2 games? File, export, project. Oh, rather, sorry, if you rather probably what you're actually looking for is build, create executable. And you can create a zip or an installer. Probably make the zip. Now and again, Michael Maldonado. I don't have a ton of it. Most of my stuff I work solo more often than not. I tend to outsource small pieces of work rather than working in close teams and stuff. I haven't really mastered the art of working in working with bigger teams and stuff, or at least leading them. You know, I can work in a team, but I'm too slow and indecisive when it comes to leading teams a lot of the time. Addicted to making games. Not sure how to answer that. Any guess on when GMS3 will... Yeah, next week. Right. Okay, so I think that is that for that. Okay, and that... Oh! When I was running that though, I could still see Grid Mask, I think. Yeah, I can still see this. So why didn't it get off? Also, there's like a 1 pixel gap in it, I think. Which sucks because I was specifically trying to avoid that. But it's just at the bottom there, I think. I think it doesn't... no, it's not actually spot on, is it? How did I get that so inaccurate? 7200 definitely divides by, yes, 20 times 360. 360 and 640. Okay, let's... Okay, good. That. Zoom out of the bottom. Good. Zoom out of the top. Good. Why would that cut in half with a 32? Oh, we got 360 doesn't divide by 32. That's why, of course. Let's remember that. So those are the divisions between, yes, okay, no, that is actually to be expected, and we decided we would be okay with that. Every other, like, 3 or something like that should give us a perfect divide, but because it's a quarter, so it should be okay, largely. We just have to be careful with that top and bottom row of each one. It's getting there, astronauts. It's at episode 19 so far. Okay. Just delete the camera, also delete the player, and we'll manually put those things in, rather than dragging them around, trying to keep track. But we need to now know why it's not getting rid of them with O world, which is definitely in here. Yeah, because we're deleting them and then literally like... Oh. Did I do an O in it? I thought I specifically made sure I must have not been paying attention. O world. Yes, in range start. Do that. Oh, there's not even a player, is there? Of course. Well, let's just go in and put those where I'm going to be. So let's take a look back at here. I'm amazed my overlay hasn't crashed yet. I shouldn't say things like that, but it's holding down the fort pretty well so far. So 6 up from the bottom, 5 in from the left. Oh, that's not what we need. We're starting around here, isn't it? More like... So 4 in from the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 up from the bottom. Wrong window. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, that is 9, yeah. Whoops. 3, 4. Yeah. Just plonk that there so we know it's the right one. Right. Just gonna bring this up near the window. Looks better than I can ever do. Don't say that. Don't say ever anyway. So already I'm seeing a bit of an issue with this. Which is how close to the bottom you're actually going to be. It's gonna be interesting. I'll put that there just to try it out, but might have to rethink some of this camera stuff on whether or not the game really supports this style, or I'll have to do it differently. But no other way to find out than to try it out, I guess. So let's turn that into 3 rather than 4. And then that does go quite a long way to there. And we'll kind of like, I'll just shut it off here, but we might do something fancy there later. The idea is we're going to have like a big door here. With something to like obviously shoot there that will open this up. Utter trash. Don't know about that, man. It's not how the performance to handle through. Guys, you guys assume so much nonsense, like, that you've just vaguely heard or you've vaguely read somewhere and don't actually know about yourselves. Everyone does this, all humans do this with all kinds of things and facts that they don't, they think they know, right? Because you have to just trust certain sources of information or you just go insane, right? But a lot of stuff you're all thinking about the 3D in Game Maker is strictly not true. Game Maker's performance is really good, it's just not. It doesn't have the tool set to be a very useful tool for dealing with 3D. It's not designed to be used for 3D largely, but you can still do it, and it still has a lot of tools to do stuff rudimentarily, because the drawing, like the way it draws 2D is actually drawing 3D, it's just not, you know, there's not really any difference. But like, I've done 3D in Game Maker, like, and the performance is fine, you know? I mean, it's very basic, but hey, we got like a 3D game, and I can walk around in 3D, and I'm walking through like a waterfall, and like, there's a little dude with massive trousers, and he like looks at me, and oh, he's kind of screwed up at the moment. I think he's facing all the wrong directions, and there's a few things going on with him, but I've got like a door here that opens up, and whoa, and it's a bit dodgy because I've only just sort of been learning how to do this stuff. But look, it's like 60 FPS, it all works fine, super high frame rate, it's fine, you know? And you just have to do it a lot more yourself is the thing. It's a lot more manual, and it's a bit too manual to be really like, to bother making like a big long-term, like super 3D focused game that's a lot more complex than this anyway, with this tool set, because why would you when tool sets exist that can do it much more, that are designed to do it, things like Unity and Unreal and so on and so forth. It's not about this being trash for 3D, it's not that it doesn't have the performance, it's not that it can't do it, it's just that why would you? why would you have to go to a lot more work, and you have to build it up from, you have to reinvent a lot of wheels to do it in Game Maker, whereas those wheels are already there for you in Unity and so on and so forth. That's the more accurate way of looking at it. It's very similar, yeah, August and Genti. And like, when you say like, oh, how do you make 3D? It's hard, you know? Like, I had to define all of those, like, all these walls and just simple blocks, right? Like, I can't just say make a block of thing, because it's not a tool set designed around this kind of thing. So I had to like define, like, I've got a vertex library, and it's like define a block, and then I've got all this code just to define what a block is, like like where those vertexes should be drawn, and it's all super manually done. That's the issue with it. And why it's hard, you know, you have to be it's very manual. I think it's actually a pretty cool tool, because there's some cool like paradigms of being able to like build a 3D level like in this room editor like this is kind of a nice way of doing simplistic stuff like that, unless you start doing multiple levels and stuff, then it gets a bit harder. Like multiple like heights and layers and stuff, unless they're actually like power of 2 kind of thing. So it has certain advantages, and if you're really familiar with GameMaker, then it can sometimes be worth using GameMaker to do a 3D thing, and that's part of what I was experimenting with here. Especially if you're going after the kind of look like this, I think it's a cool tool for it. Because you sort of build up to it from the bottom, less distance than building down to it from like Unity, which starts way higher up. That's what you think about it in 3D. Like if GameMaker is like starting, it's not really starting from the bottom, writing your own engine or whatever, right? But you're starting from way lower, a way lower level position in GameMaker when you're writing 3D. Whereas if you're writing 3D in Unity, you're starting from a way higher level position. So it depends where your game wants to be. If your game wants to be here, where Unity is, or above, then you want to use Unity. Or even if it's just below, then you still want to use Unity. But if it's like down here, then why go to all that effort to make Unity come down to here when you can just take GameMaker and go up to there? You know, that's the way you want to look at it. Anyway, back to PokeyPoke. Just like the bit of stuff I learned about 3D lately, it's just the natural or something. Like, you're not miles off when people are saying like, oh, GameMaker trash for 3D and so whatever, but you don't know the whole story. And I always feel compelled to be like, no, this is how it is, kind of thing with that stuff. I hate this though whenever it like seems to just throw the camera off miles away. Sometimes I can't even find my way back, I just have to close and reopen the room edit. Okay, so we got this little area. This is going to be that, and then we're going to fall down here. So let's grab this auto tile. And we're going to just comb around the outside of this a bit. And we'll just leave that there as being that thing. So this is all we should have to really do in terms of like making sure we've got a buffer for things like screen shake and screen shake and so on. Let's do just make sure we've kind of covered a cell around the outside of whatever it is we're doing. I will want to white box this rather than using this grass for everything, I think, as well, but... exactly, August. The room is really huge, and I'm going to have to do some stuff that, like, unloads and loads bits of it at a time kind of thing, but... it's the way I want to go about it for now. Yeah, auto tile is really cool. Yeah, it's a really nice thing to be able to just do stuff like that. You have to spend ages drawing and setting up the tile set to do it, but once you're there, it's really cool. Let's lower the ceiling a bit more. And then fall into the caves. Block this out. So I want you to fall down here. Probably strip the player of control as they do, just so I can create some little crevices and things just to make the climb up a bit better. Yeah, do something like that. Because I want you to be able to see something over here, so like something like that. And then when you fall down here, like the camera will just briefly whiz by and be like, ooh, what was that on the side? Probably going to want to do like a fancy lighting thing for this at some point. I'm glad. Yeah, you can go all the way, man. You can put normal maps and stuff into it as well, and it's But the problem is, like, as I say, you start so low down that if your goal is higher up and you want more advanced things like that, then you should really probably consider using a tool that's designed for it, you know. That's the thing, is trying to work out that sort of, you know, if you're just looking at, say, GameMaker and Unity, there's loads of tools, but if you just take those two of just like, if Unity's here and GameMaker's here, where is my game? If my game falls between, like if it's above, you use that tool, right? But if it falls in between, then you kind of want to say like, okay, which one is closer? So which one is going to have me do the least work? That's all the question ever comes down to in terms of what tool you use. It's not what is limited, what the limitations of the tool are. It's as such, it's never usually whether or not the tool can do X, Y, Z, because generally the answer is always yes. The answer is which does it most easily, always. When you sleep while you game dev, always make sure you get sleep, man. I did get to, yeah, the chat overlay down there is all made with GameMaker. Yeah, and I'm gonna make it like come through to the side like that as well. Which might be less obvious to the player than digging up. I was gonna have it come down here, but like I kinda wanna make it a bit more subtle. And like, not necessarily so that you think, ah, how do I get to that thing? But you might get to it and be like, oh yeah, I saw this on the way down. That's exciting. And then when you get to here, that'll remind you of where we actually want you to come back as well. So it can serve a few purposes, level design wise. So I'm already using up more space than I did in my original block out, but or my original plan. This is the block out. We want to keep our turns consistent. So I only really want this to be like... But what's interesting is that we can blend these together. So I could do like a whole, like this could be like a whole area of another level. And the thing I like about this kind of camera system is you can like showcase bits together and be like, oh, what's that up there while you're like down here kind of thing. But we're not going to do that right away. So we're just going to block that off there. So like if you compare this, like it doesn't really even look the same yet, because like I'm already deviating as I build it. This is just a rough idea. So I've kind of used like this tile here as well. That's going to be above there, which is interesting as a concept. Because I might make this area longer as well, because otherwise it's like a very short kind of, oh, there's a spear, come back out. But maybe I want to make it more dramatic than that and so on, but we'll see. This is our first block out of probably many revisions. That is actually probably a good way to do the camera thing, because then you'll jump up here and then come up into here, won't you? And one way to find out with that, I guess. It does make this less interesting as a thing though. Maybe we'll make this like a... make something you actually have to get over. Get you using that climbing. A bit more interesting. Yeah, we'll do that. Where's the best place to publish a game? You'll need to stop being Siths and thinking in absolutes. So I mean, I'm noticing my answer to a lot of questions is that it's not as simple or as absolute as that. Glad I could help, Joe Animations. If you're making your first games, I highly recommend putting them on itch.io. There you go, there's an actual answer. That's a very useful tool. Depends, Gebsu. I just used it because it worked. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go get a proper drink that isn't just this energy can. I need some actual water in my body, and then we'll carry on. So I'll... Oh, why's my stream health down, actually? Why does it wants me to stream at a bitrate of 4500? That's cray-cray. Maybe it's because I've got low latency set on YouTube. I don't know. But I think it's fine. Anyway, yeah, I'll actually be right back. I want to skip this music though. So I think that's probably thingied. Chill out with that a bit. If I remember my glass. Also, let's take this downstairs. Do 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 do. Well, if you made a PC game, you don't know how to publish it, publish to itch.io. There you go. Quick solution. It's like Bandcamp for video games. It's great. Oh, that's gonna be... That's not gonna be a great thing. So you jump and then just come straight back down. Right. That's kind of more what we want. Yeah, you go to itch.io, you make a new thing, you upload the thing. I can't do everything for you, man. Find some legwork. Use Google. You'll get there. You'll work it out. I believe in you. I am live streaming with OBS. Okay. So this comes down here, shows that. I do need to think, like, I need to make sure that this room isn't pointless, you know? Gotta really... It's gonna tell me what to work out how to make these transitions feel occurs, or especially with them being different heights. That's gonna be real bizarro, and I don't know if maybe I should put in like a one tile buffer or something, which just, to make them all the same height, or if there's a really a way of doing that. Like, hang on, let me think about this. So if 360 divided by 32 is 11.25, 12 times 32 is 384. We could make each one 384, make the camera change height based on 384, meaning all you're doing is losing 24 pixels from the top of each one, right? Or from the bottom even. Like if I assume each one is actually 12, don't resample the tiles. So I think having them be inconsistent is going to make things a problem for me. So let's... So now if we're looking at something like that, but like the camera in each one will probably show like if we assume the camera can't show the whole of a thing, it's going to show all but like the bottom 24 pixels. And the idea being that when we cross over the threshold to the next one, by falling is better because when we fall we've got added momentum. By jumping we want it to happen more immediately, so we can have that always be the top of it, that always be the bottom, and we can always draw it as if from there. I think that makes the most sense. Let's like throw the player into the half-built thing we've got here. Let's just like do that. Just seal it off. Go to player, stick the player in here. Because I might have to then rebuild all this again based around that, but let's see. This is why we need to work this out, because like otherwise it's just like constantly refactoring and making huge sweeping level size things. How can I? Oh, because of the grid. Player in. We'll pop the lance in as well. And the camera. I suppose it's more of an entity at this point, but whatever. It's not really though. Okay. I mean just how is it as is? Because I feel like it's just going to be a bit weird. Probably won't notice it being weird with the setup as is. I think it's more later causing problems. Also, that layer needs to stop being visible. So we're getting a weird sickly yellow coming through transparent bits of the tiles. Well, hopefully this is sort of answering your question, Gamer Kings of Croatia, making like a platformer thing with a spear. Actually feels really nice level space-wise. But yeah, just stuff like this I think I'm not gonna like. So I think I'd rather if we can... It's always gonna cut off the bottom 24 pixels, right, which is only actually gonna leave you with 8 pixels left. So that is actually going to be what that would look like at the bottom of any given grid. But it's okay as long as that's consistent, because then I can use that as a rule and be like, okay, at the bottom of each one, if I don't want it to look like this, I give you a full tile, you know? As a rule. And that's confusing as well, if you can't, because you can't see off the edge there. And like, oh, I'm running into a thing. And that would be a rule in over itself as well. So we need to establish these kind of rules of how we build levels to avoid problems like this, and we can't do that if the heights are slightly inconsistent across the course of the map. So, thanks, Landon. Woo! Okay, so I think how I've decided to do this then is to resize what these grids are going to be by saying, let's just turn that off. Was that still showing up? No, it wasn't. It was actually getting deleted, wasn't it? Just make that invisible for the time being. And let's just go to a camera. I'm going to change that macro to be by 384. I think that should actually just be all I need to do, and I think it should just work from there. Because it's all based around that. It just won't draw to that actual size, because it wouldn't. Because yeah, it doesn't use those values for getting its actual width and stuff like that. So let's run this. If I hold F2, I think it is, yeah, we can see the borders. I need to draw them even thicker than that though, just to make sure that they're... Right, yeah, so we should be able to see it from the top though, because that should be... like right there. Is that a full tile or isn't it? Yeah, that's showing more of that tile than I was expecting, actually. So what's the crack there? Hmm. 4,800. Let me get the calculator back out. So make sure that's the right number again. 384 divided by 32 is 12, right? So each one is 12 high. 4,800 divided by 32 is 150. So it comes down to there. is cam H divided by 2 plus that number of tiles times cam H. Oh right, yeah, so that it puts it in the middle. So does that mean it should... Oh yeah, it should still divide by 32 because it would be like 6 down, right? It looks really cool, Player 042. I just, you know, I'm an old man using just the standard stuff because I get used to things too. It takes me a long time to break habits. So it's very difficult for me to get used to using GMEdit over like using the workspace and stuff, even though I do really like it. I have used it before and tried to get into using it before. It's just, oh, it's just come back to this nonsense. Largely no Gamer Kings of Croatia. I make a lot of them, but most of the actual good stuff was made by someone else. But if I have to make my own stuff, I either use the inbuilt editor, Photoshop, Flash, or Pixel Edit, depending on what it is I'm making. The difference between slash and div is div returns it in whole numbers only, so it cuts off like... So if the actual answer to a division would be like 12.6, it will just bring you back 12. So all this is doing is like working out which grid the player is in and drawing them that. What's it? 4, 4. Can I draw us another viewport? That's like camera properties, like the whole room. Viewport properties, like 20 divided by 2, 180, 360 divided by 4, 180, 90. It's in the top left corner. Let's mark it as visible and see if that might just work just doing that. I'm sure I do know what that means, but not off the top of my head, actually. Sorry, bro. Not really sure what you mean. Okay, that doesn't actually help there. X and Y seems spot on. Spot on-ish, depending on how the draw width thing works. The top and bottom is not what I expected. It's drawing it at half of the... yeah, because it's not actually... It's like drawing it in between the two, so it'd actually be the same amount of height, top and bottom, so you're getting like 16 pixels either way, this way. That might be a way to do it, but I think I'd rather just have it be at the top. Hard to tell. I mean, it does mean there's a slight area of the screen you can just never see, really, other than when it, like, transitions. That's kind of true now, though, isn't it? Yeah, I see what you mean. The coin is spinning very quick for whatever reason. God knows what that is. Giving you autism. Not really even sure what the hell that means. Do you know what autism is? Or have you just learned that word from internet edgelords? Right, so I need to work this out in Photoshop, I think, or something. Like, let's make this room. Let's make it... Yeah, let's actually just make the whole size of it. So let's go like 64, 7200. Preferences. Oh, you can't actually make a grid do two different things in Photoshop, can you? Smile. I'm the definition of all. Really don't think you know what a lot of words mean. I'm gonna stop and go. Are you just here to output random? I think you're trying to sound mean, but you don't really know how to do it. Is English your first language? I don't understand what you're saying. If you're gonna, I think you're trying to troll, but you're not really. I don't think you know what you're doing. I think you're new to this. Doesn't make any sense. No, I don't want to be your friend. You sound like a bad person. So I'm just gonna just hide you from the channel. There you go. You can go away. The definition of sheep. Oh, guess there's a sheep got on the ship. See what you did there. The definition. I don't think I'm the definition of anything. I don't think that makes any sense. I'm not a dictionary. 360. Okay, so that's like, I don't know. Boom. Boom, boom. Hello, Jonathan Gaming. I just want to get a visual idea for how this is going to behave. That's kind of tough to do. Because those are like, that's it at 360. Oh, that's, yeah, I'm doing this wrong already, but let's make another layer now and do it at fixed size 363.84. That's like the closest actual 32 by 32 division, right? So let's put this in like a green color. Okay. Huh. There are a lot of key check things. I used to always use key check direct by out of habit, and I don't really know why. And the advantage of that is like you can use it when the game isn't in focus, which is like, do you even want that? But it also only